Hey, what's going on? So I wanted to give an update of my 10-gallon tank. Um, so the most recent updates are that my plants are growing really well. They've filled in. I added a few more plants and a few more fish, a few more organisms. I've added um, I have added a few shrimp. I've added 4 Amano shrimp, which I believe are doing pretty well. I can see them right now. The resolution on the video isn't too good, so and it's hard to get close with this video cam that's attached to my computer. But they are doing quite well. I added them about 3 days ago. I now have 22 out of the 30 white cloud mountain minnows that you can see at the top. I moved 5 to my 30-gallon tank, and about 3 of the small ones just died, I think. I found one of their bodies, and the other ones just, I think, disappeared, because they're so tiny. I also added a pleco. The Hydrostomus plecostomus is the scientific name, and that's just the standard pleco. And so, yeah, I'm just over here, by the way. Just want to give you a good, nice view of my tank here. So yeah, that's pretty much the only updates. The tank is fully cycled. I just took the water parameter readings, with the API test kit. The pH is 8.0, ammonia is 0, nitrite is 0, nitrate is around 5 parts per million, and maybe less, maybe more like 3 or 4. It's just barely orange. So yeah, the water parameters are doing great. I think the bubble filter is amazing. I would highly recommend that to anybody. I used to use not a bubble filter for other tanks when I was younger, and none of them ever really worked, just the ones that pull in the water and then push it out, and I feel like a lot of people say, oh, your tank needs water flow or whatever. What does it need water flow for? I don't think that it does need water. I mean, and look, as you can see, the bubbles are causing quite a bit of water flow. The bubbles push the water over here, and then it's, they're going to bounce back, and the water is going to go down. There's going to be circulation and bubble filter, so I highly recommend having a bubble filter, because I'll just go into the science of it real quick. The aerobic bacteria are the nitrifying bacteria in your tank, and that's what's doing the work of turning the ammonia into nitrite and nitrite into nitrate. So I'll say that again. Ammonia goes to nitrite, nitrite goes to nitrate, and then actually there's anaerobic bacteria which don't use oxygen. They live in the presence without oxygen. They turn nitrate into nitrogenous gases that that go into the atmosphere. So, but the most important ones are obviously the nitrifying bacteria, not the denitrifying bacteria, because you want to be turning that fish waste immediately into nitrite, and then the nitrite immediately into nitrate. And that's what adding the air is going to do for you. If you don't have that, you're just not going to be able to have very many fish. And so this isn't really a true Walstad method, because I'm using, a filter. And, I could actually probably get away without doing it, and I might try that, and just as an experiment. I think today, actually, I'm going to, since it's heavily planted now, the plants have finally really grown in, I'm going to try that out and, test every single day and see how much the ammonia levels rise, if they do at all. But maybe there's just enough bacteria in here, maybe there's enough oxygen being released from the plants that the bacteria can live off of that. But see, yeah, it just doesn't seem very very reasonable unless you have like a couple fish per every 10 gallons or something. Then it's like, okay, well, you basically have no fish, so you're not really creating barely any waste. And so you don't really need much bacteria. So, I mean, it's, yeah, the people that say, oh, you don't really need a filter, personally, I think that's kind of silly unless you're, I mean, if you're, this tank isn't hugely, the plants aren't out of control. If you get one of those plants that's like where you can't even see through it because there's so much plants, you probably can add a few more fish. Maybe you could have as many as this. Maybe you could have like 22 fish, and or 23 counting the pleco and then some shrimp. But that's my opinion on it. You really need that extra air input for the oxygen to feed those bacteria. So yeah, next thing I want to talk about is what I think I could do better on this tank. For one, I think I put too much gravel. The gravel on the back, you can't see it from here, but it gets to be this high on the tank, which, I mean, you can see from the video, or maybe that high on the tank, right around there. You can see that that's a lot of gravel. That's like 2/5 of the way up the tank, maybe a third, or around there, third to 2/5. Yeah, probably 2/5 or even more of gravel in the back, and that means there's less water for the fish to swim in, and it also means the key thing is that the soil down here isn't being used by the plants. I mean, it could be if the plant's roots are very deep, and the soil that I put in was kind of crappy. I explained that in the previous video. The soil I got was G&B organic compost, which is just crap. I do not recommend you get it for your aquarium. It's just crap. It's pretty much wood chips that sat outside for a month, and then they call that a compost. It's like, I guess it's a compost, but there's no vegetables, there's nothing else except wood in it, really. So, yeah, I think that was a very poor decision. So basically, this really isn't, the Walstad method. Unfortunately, I wish it was, but yeah, I kind of ended up not being able to do that because I didn't do it right. I couldn't get the right soil. And so, yeah, in the future, what I would recommend and what I've done actually with my 30-gallon, which I'll show you in another video, is use worm castings. Worm castings are essentially compost, and they're kind of better in some ways. And so you can use that instead, and those are found almost everywhere. If you can't get, the right compost, Miracle Grow, potting soil compost, organic Miracle Grow or whatever, that, worm castings are the way to go. It seems to be working really well with my 30-gallon. Yeah, I'm also using Flourish Excel in this, which I know I said before I wasn't going to use any chemicals, but I got a bunch of chemicals for free from somebody who was giving away their tanks, so I decided, hey, why not? It's going to help my plants, so yeah, I might, you might as well just use it if you have it laying around. It's going to be adding in extra carbon dioxide, something that that the plants need. So yeah, I do have a 30-gallon, and I'm gonna upload a video very shortly right after this one about that, and I'm also going to be talking about some filtration media too. Alright, thanks for watching. See ya. Bye.